Oh, yeah. It's two different artists.
Stop the music moments. We are going to build up to a pose called Wow Thing. Except we're not going to flip from down dog. That's not gentle. We're going to do it a couple different ways at the very end. That's more gentle. It's more doable. Where we sink a knee to the floor. And we're on the ground. And then we're going to try coming into it from plank, because plank, you're closer to the ground, you're already connected, it's just not as fearful. So that's what we're going to build up to today, so you know where we're headed. What I wanted to talk about as far as the Dharma talk is concerned is something that I noticed over the weekend when I was doing a little light reading. I read that the Greek root word for crisis means to sift. And to sift, or when we go through a crisis, we're shaking off the excesses. And when we're shaking off the excesses, the things that are left behind have value, have importance, and are more nourishing. And I've been talking these past couple years that we've all been hit with a collective trauma. And it's showing up in our bodies because it's showing up in our lives. But we can also equally look at it as a collective crisis. Things have gotten really shaken up. We've been doing a lot of sifting. And we need to be in the question, like, what are our priorities? What is of value? What do we need to hang on to? And what do we need to let go of? And in the last couple of years, some of that has been forced upon us. Some of that has been wanted or unwanted. I don't think any of us are immune from this, but I think all of us have lost some people in our lives. Either relationships have fallen away, or there have been other things that have had to fall away. Maybe you had some healthy habits, and now you've developed some poor habits. Maybe it's reverse. Maybe you had some poor habits, and this gave you the opportunity to create some healthy habits. But we're constantly going through the sifting when we're on the mat. So even though this is happening collectively, this is what yoga and meditation is about. Letting go of the excesses and discovering what is valuable, what is true. When we work into the body, if stress and tension and emotions have been collecting, we're moving the body in a way where we're trying to break it up and release it. When we're sitting in our mindful state, or we're sitting in a meditational state, we're sifting through all that chatter. You can't just swipe it like we do on our phone, but that's kind of what we're trying to do, not feed it, so that we're coming back into that pure state of mind, into a calm, peaceful state of mind. This is our test today, with all this distraction next door. Can we sift through it and hold on to what is valuable and why we're here? Over the weekend, and this is what made me think to run with this today. After I read this, I had already thought about, I took my son is like, a musician, and he's 14. And ever since he was little, our date night would be to go out to music. So I would take him to the symphony, or I would take him to a concert. He'd play in his dad's band, even at a young age. And so I would go to see him play with that. And So for Christmas, all he wanted was concert tickets. So I got him 3 concert tickets that are kind of spaced out through the spring. Poor thing, one we couldn't even go to because we didn't realize we had to have a certain test, whatever test you have to go. Yeah, we didn't know that. We just thought it needed to be a negative test. So boom, that waste. But anyway, the one that we went to over the weekend, I realized in that moment, I'm like, whew, I've let go of a lot. And really my whole life seems to revolve around yoga, music, and travel. Not that I've been traveling a whole lot, but I have done some traveling and I want to continue to do some traveling. And those are valuable things for me because I value experience and I value this practice. And those are things I'm passionate about. So I want you to be contemplative and consider what have you sifted through? What are the things that you've had to release? What are the things that are of value that you're holding on to or coming back to? So let's begin. Let me show you something before you scroll down to your back. I do want you to have a block beside you. But there's one thing that we haven't done in a while, and it's this rocking back and forth. We will be doing that. There's another one where we're going to be shaking the hands and the feet like this. There's another one we're going to be doing a cat-cow, and we haven't done this in a while, from a supine position. So I just wanted you to have that visual. So go ahead and come down to your back. Fan out the feet. Let your hands reside on your belly. And of course, if this doesn't feel good to the low back for any reason, you can certainly bend your knees. But as you close your eyes, drop down into your body and feel the flooring below. And I want you to notice which parts of your body are heavy. So when I'm standing through my body, I notice the heels, the sacrum, the shoulder blades, and the skull. You may have a different experience, but I want you to connect to the earth. And after you've done this body scan, notice from the top of the body, the skin that's exposed compared to the skin that is clothed. Maybe even feeling the difference in the temperature. Then notice the temperature of the breath, how it's slightly cooler on the in-breath, warmer on the out-breath. And then purposely try to create a slow rhythmic breath. Letting your inhalations invite you in. And allowing your exhalations to settle you. Now feel the belly rising on the inhale. Retracting on the exhale. And on your next in-breath, go ahead and bend your knees. And once you bend your knees, we're gonna go into a little flow here. Bring your arms beside you, palms facing downward. And inhale, lift to a low bridge, where you're tucking the tailbone, rolling your thighs towards each other. And then as you exhale, roll back down, one vertebra at a time. As you inhale, circle the arms overhead, stretch your legs long and point through your toes. And as you exhale, hug your knees into your belly and chest. Inhale, flatten the hands and feet, rising up to bridge. Exhale, roll it down to the ground. Inhale, stretch the legs forward, circle the arms alongside your ear. Point through your toes, sway through the low back, and then exhale, flatten the back as you hug knees into Apanasana. Inhale, hands and feet down, lifting into that low bridge. Feeling the work in your hamstrings and glutes. Exhale, roll it down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, stretch out through your wings. And exhale, close the knees in with your arms. So we're gonna do this flow once more. Inhale, landing the hands and feet and rising up. Setu Bandhasana. Exhale, roll it down to the sacrum. Inhale, stretch your body out. And exhale, curl the knees in. Keep the head on the floor. Pausing here. Breathing in a diaphragmatic way. And affirming, I release my scattered forces to rise up and away into the sky. Even that affirmation is suggesting this idea of sifting. Now let's go ahead and bring the arms and feet back down. We're going to be a little bit more dynamic in our bridge. On your in-breath, root down through the soles of the feet, down through the outer shoulders, and elevate the pelvis. Rock your weight from side to side, tucking the shoulders up underneath the body so your pelvis can lift a little higher and your chest can puff up towards your chin. Keep pressing through the inner edges of the feet to keep the knees narrow. And affirming here as you hold. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. Take a hold of your block. Slide it underneath your low back and sit up on it. Turn your palms to open up towards the heavens. And simply be here, allowing the belly to rise and fall. On your next inhalation, elevate your left leg. Point through the toes. And as you exhale, put the dorsiflexion in the ankle. Inhale, pointing. Exhale, flexing. Do that once more. Inhale, point up. Exhale, flex to the ankle. And now rotate the foot several times one way and then the other. And then gently land it back down to the mat. Notice all that energization from the left foot. And that was just a little activity. So let's match it up to the right. Inhale, send the right leg skyward. Point through the toes. Feel the peroneal muscles connecting to your shin. And then exhale, flex the ankle. Feel the calf stretch. Inhale, pointing. Exhale, flex. Power of 3, one more. And rotate the ankle. And take it the opposite way. And gently release back down. All right, we're going to tuck and lift away from the block and roll it back down. Once you roll down, this is where we're going to do the rocking back and forth. So you're pressing through the feet and just rocking the spine up and down your mat, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know a lot about somatics, but I've heard that this is a part of somatic movement. Don't quote me on that. It is supposed to help to open up the spinal fluid. 3, 2, 1. All right, let that go. Now we're going to begin to do the miniature cat-cow, just rolling through the pelvis. So as you inhale, lift your low back off the floor as you roll your hips towards your thighs, coming towards your sits bones. And then on the out breath, you're aligning your tailbone to reach towards your heels and zipping up through your midriff, flattening the low back. Inhale, a mini cow tilt. And exhaling, you're not tucking or lifting the tailbone. You're just using that belly lock, that Uddiyana Bandha. When we activate that belly lock, we also activate the root lock. The two work in tandem. So you may feel that tightening at your pelvic floor. Let's do 3 more. When you complete that, your belly is hugging in, your low back is flattening down, and then we'll pick up the feet. The feet are going to face up in the ceiling, and the arms are going to lift up as well. So before we get into this, I heard a teacher once call this Jumbadasana, and I thought it was the best name ever. Because if you know those green beetles in the summertime here in the South, their shells are so heavy, sometimes they get flipped on their back and they need help being turned over. And they're harmless, so flip them over and let them fly free. So start shaking your feet and your hands. Shaking from your elbows and knees, so it's coming up through your limbs. Now don't quote me on this either, but someone told me this stems from Kundalini Yoga. I didn't know that. I've done it over the years, but just shake, shake, shimmy, shake, shake, right? And this is what sifting is. Taking off or out the excesses. Think about when you make one of those desserts and you're sifting the powdered sugar over top of it. All right, now go ahead and land your feet. Open up your knees, splay open and recline butterfly. Notice your heart rate and breath rate might have increased. I'm going to let you lounge a moment to slow it back down. Place your left hand over your heart, your right hand on top of that. Take a few more deep breaths. Maybe even listening to this mantra playing in the background. It's a beautiful mantra. That means I bow to the wisdom within. Gonna take one last breath. And inhale, you can flutter your knees up. You can roll to the right side. You can use your left hand to push down and to build your way up. I'm going to take a moment to open up into a side bend before we stand. As you inhale, uplift your, your left arm. I'm going to mirror you. Exhale, curve over to the other side. Sometimes when my brain just gets stuck, I just stare at someone. So I'm locked in on Christina. It helps though when I do that. All right, inhale, build it back up. And exhale, lower the arm. Good, inhale, let your right arm lift. Exhale, curve over to that side. Inhale, breathe back up. And exhale, release down. Now we're gonna come up to stand. And bring that other block with you to join the other one at the top of the mat. The only teacher I've ever done this with is Saul David Ray, and I always like to give credit where credit is due. Bend the knees. You're gonna flex your right hand. If you know anything about Wild Thing, we hang that arm back, so we need to open up the shoulder. So as you inhale, sail that right arm up. And as you exhale, swoop it down and around. So it's just like you're back stroking the arm. I like to go a little slower on the inhale and a little faster on the exhale, but find what works for you. I also prefer Hasta Drishti, which is gazing toward the hand, but if that upsets your neck, leave that out. Three, two, and last one. All right, left hand. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Opening up this range of motion to prepare us for the peak pose. Three, two, and one. All right, separate your feet. You're gonna have a soft bend in your knees. This is a twisting Kriya. So the arms are gonna be really loose. And I know sometimes with our twists, like when we're, I don't know, standing and balancing or sitting to do twists, we square the hips and then we move from the waist up. But with this twist, we're actually allowing the hips to turn with the belly, which is why we want the softness of the legs, to allow for that movement. So there's more asymmetry with this twist. The head will naturally turn as you rotate. Remember how cleansing the twists are to many different systems of our body, right? It's helping the body to do its internal sifting. All right, then come back to center. And then feel, whew, there's an energy rush to the head. So keep your eyes open. Gaze at one spot, let it settle. Twist, help to get the energy dancing and spiraling up to the brain. Once it's settled, you can bring the feet closer together. Now, I would suggest having the blocks in front of you in case you need it. You may not need it. But what we're going to do is we're going to step the right foot over to the other side of the left foot. And at first, just kind of equalize the weight. Take your hands to your hips. Lift up through your navel and heart center. And then exhale, start to forward fold. And this is where I would suggest go ahead and find your blocks if they're available. And we want to shift the weight onto the left foot. So kind of teeter your weight slightly to the right. So there's less weight grounding down through the right foot. This way we're getting the stretch to the outseam of the left leg. Hopefully you feel that. And then of course at that point, if you want to bend the elbows or lower the blocks or even bring your hands to the floor, you can adjust it according to your flexibility. And where it feels good and where you can openly breathe. Let your neck unravel here. And feel free to explore a longer, deeper out breath. Ready? Let's inhale slowly, pick ourselves up. Maybe bringing the hand back to the blocks. Maybe standing on taller, and then draw the navel in, root down through the feet. The hands can come back to the hips as you please. And then we'll uncross and recross, but this time the left foot goes to the outer edge of the right. And then again, the weight can be more equalized here as we extend the vertebrae and begin to hinge over from the hips. Maybe stabilize with your blocks. Finding which position you prefer them to be in, and then rocking your weight into the right foot by slightly swaying your body to the left. And finding your edge. This is a nice IT band stretch. If you've been more sedentary as of late, it may feel a little sensitive. And this area is usually super tight for people who run or bike or have that type of repetitive motion with their legs. Your next inhale, let's slowly begin to exit out. So maybe just starting, bringing the blocks to a taller height, stacking your hands there, equalizing the weight in your feet, hands to the hips to slowly come up, and then uncross the legs. Hands to prayer position at the heart. As you inhale, let your arms circle wide and up overhead. Maybe even lean the head back and look towards your hands. So as you exhale, bring your hands straight down the middle and fold towards an Uttanasana. You can determine whether or not you want your legs straight or knees bent. As you bow down.
I bow to the wisdom within. On your next inhale, bend your knees. Lift your arms straight out in front of you, coming into your Utkatasana, your chair position. From your chair position, exhale, breathe it out, leaning forward, taking the arms back. And then inhale, coming all the way up, straight legs. Maybe the palms glue together, upward worship. Exhale, hinge forward, hands come straight down the midline, releasing apart eventually as you drape down. Affirming as you hold, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I choose to hold on to what is important, what is valuable. Inhale, bend the knees. Lift the arms forward and up. Utkatasana, your chair. Exhale, bring the arms back as you lean the trunk forward. Inhale, pressurize the feet as you come all the way to stand. Hands together overhead. Doing that once more, exhale, humbly fold, Uttanasana. Releasing down, shifting your weight forward towards the toes. Let the head fall ahead. On your next inhalation, let's go ahead and step both feet back to plank. Stepping your feet back to plank, be strong in your arms. This is really required for wild thing. The fingers are splayed. You're pushing them down so your upper back is strong. Try not to dip your hips. Instead, lift your thighs. Now exhale, pull in from the navel. Take it up and back to downward facing dog. Your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let your head release between the upper arm bones. Open up space in the underside of the belly. Open up space in between each vertebra. Nice. Inhale, shift forward plank. Pausing in plank. Keeping the breath rolling. And then on the next out breath, press it back, downward facing dog. So we're going to do that one more round. Hold down dog for an extra breath here. See if you can breathe into the backside of your lungs. Inhale, roll forward, stacking shoulders over wrist. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. On your next exhalation, go ahead and send the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, and sink back into child. Your arms can circle around you, your palms are open beside your ankles, and you can reside on your brow, your third eye. Giving your wrist a break. Your next inhale, stretch the arms forward and out. Rock up hands and knees. Send the right leg off to the side, plant that foot. And sweep the right arm out and star, knees, or pose. So check in, this is a good point, a good position to check out your left knee, shin, and foot. You need extra support. As you exhale, bring the hand down, slide the right foot back, tuck those toes, shift the left shin back behind you, plant the right foot, and now open up to the side. Like a modified side angle pose. Now, please listen to the instruction to move towards Wild Thing. Your left foot is going to shimmy, slide, or walk over in the direction of your left hand. Okay, you're repositioning your left shin towards the hand. Now you're going to turn the right toes to the back of your mat or the back wall. Perfect. Now tuck the tailbone like you would in bridge and lean back, lean back, lean back. Let your right arm hang back. Let your head hang back. And receive the ecstatic awakening of your heart. This is a more gentle variation. All right, to come out, lift your right arm. Slide your left shin back to your mat. As you turn down with your right palm, you can pivot your right foot. Awesome. Bring your right knee down to the table. Extend your left leg to the side. Spin open to stargazer, taking the twist. Breathing. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Inhale, step the left foot back, toes curl. Exhale, slide your right shin back, roll down to the sole of the left foot, and sweep the left arm skyward. We're just in a side plank for now. And now slide your right foot farther behind you towards your right hand. Rotate your left toes towards the back of the room. Tuck the tailbone, roll open. Belly and chest are attempting to face the ceiling. Opening the front of the body. When you're ready, inhale the left arm up. Glide the right shin back to your mat. Pivot on your back foot. Lower the left knee. Let's take the weight off the wrist and come back to Balasana. When you're in Balasana, I want you to kind of shimmy your hips side to side. Do the same thing across your knees, your shoulders, and across your brow. You're just rocking left to right and back again. Now that you've done a little sifting here, come back to the third eye. Come back into a state of stillness. I can't remember if I taught 3 extra classes over the weekend. So I can't remember if I taught it here last week or if it was just over the weekend, but I had posted something last week and it had a picture of someone doing a handstand, a headstand, a scorpion pose, and a deep forward fold. And the caption said, "This is what people think yoga is." And then it showed a caption of 4 people sitting in meditation, and it said, "This is what yoga really is." So the idea of that is yoga is found within stillness. Yoga is found within silence. Yoga is found within the peaceful state of calm that we're trying to cultivate. Once we sift through all the stuff that blocks us from that experience. All right, on your next in breath, stretch your arms forward and out. Rock up, curl your toes, and lift into full plank. All right, we're gonna go to Wild Thing here. It's not near as scary, okay? If you need to drop your knees and look forward just to see what I'm doing, that's fine. Otherwise, follow my instructions. Your right foot will lift and you'll stand on the toes. Your left toes will turn to the back of your mat. Your belly side up. You're tucking the tailbone and you're hanging back. It's not near as dynamic of a back bend as flipping the dog either. And then you come back to plank. Once you flip to plank, we'll take it the other side. The left foot will cross over Your right foot will pivot. It'll tuck the tailbone and hang back. And breathe. When you're ready, slowly exit, coming back to plank, sinking to the knees. And then we're gonna come down to a seat and send the legs out in front. Wasn't so bad, was it? The first time I ever taught that pose, I learned that one from Ravi. And I remember teaching it at the original Half Moon in Donna's original space. And I played Jimi Hendrix while we did it. So we heard the wild thing playing in the background. We're gonna bend the right knee. And then just go ahead and open from the hip. We're gonna sail the arms up. And exhale, we're gonna slightly turn the right rib cage towards that straight leg. And then we're gonna fold over it. Janu Sirsasana. Breath. Inhale, slowly build back up. You have a choice actually to leave the knee down. You also have a choice to lift the knee up. You can do the twist either way. If you lift it up, we're gonna hug it in with the left arm. The right hand will stand behind us and then we'll twist. If you want the open twist, your left hand will just stack onto the knee. We'll twist that way. Close your eyes. I want you to think about maybe the people that have dropped or fallen away from your life, willfully or unwillfully. I want you to send this affirmation to them. I radiate my love, goodwill, and compassion to my soul friends everywhere. In the last class, I said, send it to the construction crew because they have no idea. And then exhale. All right, slide your right leg out. Bend your left knee. Open out from the hips. Janu Sirsasana first, planting the back of the thigh, shining up through the toes. Lift your arms overhead. Slightly turn the left rib cage towards the extended side and fold over. And breathe. Soften your face, your jaw, your lips, your tongue. Slowly go up. Determine on this side which way you'd like your twist. Do you want to open twist or do you want to elevate the knee? Either way, circle that left hand behind your back. And this time, I want you to consider all the people that you're still holding close, all the people in your inner circle. I radiate my love, goodwill, and compassion. Soul friends everywhere. And then consider broadening that circle. Expanding that affirmation for those that are in important leadership roles.
where it's people around the globe who are suffering. Gently unwind from that twist. Right. We're going to take a block in front of us. And then the bolster is going to lean over it like so. We'll scoot closer to it. We'll hang the legs over it. And hopefully you'll find this comfortable. Now, if you wanted to have a blanket stacked under your head or over the body some way, if you wanted to place a towel over your eyes. And I highly, 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 highly suggest you investing in an eye pillow. We used to have them available. We used to have them for sale, and you can really buy them anywhere. You could probably find one at TJ Maxx. But it is important because the weight on the brow helps to calm the vagus nerve. And it really can help to drop you in and take you into a meditative state a little quicker. But I know you guys are experienced. There was a lady in the last class that said, I'm glad that I've had so much practice because I was able to drop in and I didn't hear one sound coming from the other room. Now, granted, she was very familiar with this mantra, with this music. And once she started reciting it, she was repeating it over and over and got so absorbed in it, it took her almost into a trance-like state. So you may not know the mantra or this music. You may need to rely on your breath or any other technique that you used in the past that has assisted you. Turn to that now. Use it for your own personal benefit. To sift means to examine something fully. Examine and use that technique fully. And let anything else fall away. Start developing a deeper breath. Gently roll your head from shoulder to shoulder. Bring your head back, hug your knees in. Let's roll to one side of the body. Eventually coming up, you can acclimate there if you need to before rising. Sitting. Your head rising in a lofty manner. Your heart feeling more expanded. Joining your palms together at the heart. The light and the love within my heart humbly bows in deep respect to the light and the love that you hold within yours. And we walk away from this practice, allowing that light and love to shine, giving others permission to do the same. Namaste. Namaste.